I thought it was time I provided an update to the Bovaer situation. Since my first video, I sent the Food Standards Authority, who have authorised Bovaer as a feed additive, and the Chief Veterinary Officer at DEFRA and the Veterinary Medicines Directorate, who should have categorised Bovaer as a veterinary medicine, which would have required a proper health and welfare analysis prior to any authorisation, evidence from Danish journalist Kent Nielsen on X that in Denmark, where Bovaer has already been mandated, farmers are reporting cow deaths, severe diarrhoea, reduced intake for food, fever and mastitis. I also provided further evidence that animal health and welfare studies have not yet been performed, as intention to perform the first trial in this respect at Aarhus University was announced, funded by the Danish government. This is on top of the admission I already have received from the Chief Veterinary Officer that no such trial has been performed to date. It took over 2 months and a prompt at the end of last week to get a reply, which amounted to nothing more than a doubling down on the FSA's derogation of duty and malfeasance in office. They tried to make out that the Veterinary Medicines Directive had informed me that they agreed with the classification of Bovaer as a feed additive, when in fact the VMD had made it very clear that it was the manufacturer's own application as a feed additive that had kept Bovaer within the FSA's jurisdiction. The FSA quoted all the legislation that they are supposed to follow but haven't, which proves that the deception is deliberate. They insist that they have assessed Bovaer as safe for humans and animals, despite the lack of proper long-term studies with cows using a statistically significant number of cows in any of the trials. I don't care how qualified any of their scientists are, nobody can analyse non-existent data. Any conclusions are therefore bogus and driven by the net zero political agenda. The safety data sheet explains that the active ingredient for Bovaer, 3-nitro-oxypropanol, NOP, must be handled wearing full PPE because it is a respiratory, ocular and skin irritant. Yet farmers are expected to expose themselves and their cows to Bovaer dust containing the 3-NOP in the cattle feed without protective gear. The trials dismissed the reduced ovary size and appetite as inconsequential, but clearly these physiological changes happen for a reason, which makes Bovaer a veterinary medicine by definition, and are confirmed by the Danish experience. Given the number of cows fed Bovaer in Denmark compared to the statistically insignificant numbers in the trials, there is more evidence to suggest that Bovaer causes harm than not, and yet still neither the FSA nor the VMD have stepped in to suspend, let alone withdraw Bovaer's licence. The FSA said that they started a public consultation at the end of May 2023 and claimed that nobody objected, which tells you all you need to know about how effective a consultation it was given the public backlash that has materialised once the public became informed by Arla's trial announcement via a post on X in December 2024. Nobody of any consequence was informed about the consultation other than those who would buy into it. We seem to have hit an impasse where the government bodies, the Food Standards Association, DEFRA and Veterinary Medicines Directorate are kowtowing to the climate agenda whilst claiming to have considered cow welfare despite the lack of any evidence to support their position. The government continues to state the lie that they support farming and it's up to farmers to feed their cows what they like, while disingenuously ignoring their own agenda and that all cows should be fed Bovaer by 2030, including organic cows. Traditional farming is under attack like never before. There are government-backed meat and dairy consumption targets for zero consumption. Sainsbury's report for the future backed this idea and states that all food will be industrially produced plant-based products. It's all online, so check it out if you don't believe me. In the meantime, I urge everybody to buy direct from farmers and avoid the big supermarkets as much as possible. The farmers, and thus your survival and ability to source properly grown, nutritious real food, depends on it. Thank you for watching.